So you may remember Jon Snow, the guy that used to have great character progression until the final season, where he was regulated to just saying, "I don't want it," and "she's my queen." Well, the actor for Jon, Kit Harington, has been doing some interviews where he shared why Jon had to take out Dany, and how absolutely awkward it was for him. So Kit Harington talked recently about discovering he wasn't going to be the one killing the Night King, he was the one killing Dany, and how hard Season 8 was. So this video, I want to share the highlights of that interview, and sprinkle in some of my own barely hidden anger over what they did to our boy Jon. First, Kit did confirm that Jon Snow did in fact leave the wall with the free folk in the finale. He just wasn't escorting them out like some people thought. And I know that was a huge debate, because I thought Jon Snow was leaving with the free folk to go out. And then a bunch of people screamed at me how fucking stupid I was, and that obviously Jon was just escorting them out and he was gonna come back to the wall. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I just interpreted it this way. It's okay if you did separately. We didn't need to call each other names, but I guess we did. So on that, Kit said, "When I read it, that bit really made me cry. This character that I loved for so many years and had grown so close to and had meant so much to me, seeing him go beyond the wall back to something true, something honest, something pure with these people he always told he belongs with, the free folk, it felt to me like he was finally free. Instead of being chained and sent to the wall, it felt like he was set free." It was a really sweet ending, and as much as he had done a horrible thing in killing Daenerys, as much as he had felt that pain, the actual ending for him was finally being released. Would I have liked to see Jon Snow sitting the Iron Throne, something he didn't want after killing Dany? Yeah, I think that would have been a very bittersweet ending for him. Maybe more towards bitter, and would have really fulfilled what Thorne said. You're always going to be fighting their battles. Of course, he was saying that in remarks to the free folk, so I guess he did fulfill that, didn't he? But, you know, my second best option for Jon is going beyond the wall with the free folk and living his best life with Tormund and Ghost. Kit also went on to explain what he thought Game of Thrones was about and why Jon had to kill Dany. So he shared, "It's that horrible conflict in a relationship. Do I stay or do I go? We've all been through it at some point. Except this one involves a knife. So the stakes are even higher. But that's the way I looked at it. Do I leave my lover? It was the same kind of thing between Jon and Ygritte, earlier in the series, betraying someone he loves for the greater good. But what it really comes down to, the real crux of it, is the decision is made when she puts it between her and his family. Jon essentially sees it as Dany or Sansa and Arya, and that makes his mind up for him. He chose blood over, well, his other blood. But he chooses the people he has grown up with, the people his roots are with, the North. That's where his loyalties lie in the end. That's when he puts the knife in. Jon is faced with someone he loves as his lover, who he is related to, but his loyalty is with the people and the part of the world where his roots are, the people who raised him. As much as he was an outcast from that group as a bastard, and even though Jon became the legitimate heir to the throne, he will always be of the North. He will always be a bastard of the North. He's always done the honorable thing, and Tyrion appeals to that. Do the honorable thing. Do the right thing. Do the hard thing. But do the right thing. At the end of it, it's beyond honor for Jon. It's his family. I will say I actually do like that explanation. Jon took after his adoptive father, Ned. Ned pissed on his own honor to protect his family, to protect Lyanna and her child. And in the end, Jon did the same thing. He pissed on his honor to defend his family. And I had originally thought he was doing it more so to protect the world from a tyrant, but this explanation I think is way better. He did it simply for his family. He did talk about something we've all known for a while now. He didn't actually know Jon was going to be the one to kill Dany until the read-through at the table with the entire cast and about a half page before it happened. So he shared, "I didn't realize that was going to happen the whole way through until maybe half a page before Jon kills Dany. I remember my mouth dropping open and looking across Amelia at the table, who was slowly nodding as I went, 'No, no, no.' It was a holy fuck moment, pardon my language. Jaw dropping. I was completely surprised by it, even though you can kind of see the path through the season of how it was getting there, and even the previous couple of seasons before that, once you can look back. but it was still a big shock to me. Also, apparently shooting that scene was a complete bear because they wanted to make sure they got it absolutely right. So on sharing the scene where Jon kills Dany, Kit said, "It was essentially a page and a half of dialogue, and we spent 3 weeks filming it. They wanted to shoot every conceivable angle, every way, to make sure they got it the way they wanted it. When you're shooting the same scene for 2 weeks, and it's a page and a half, it becomes a long exercise in concentration. You have to remember the energy you're bringing in every day and making sure it's consistent. With a highly emotionally charged scene like that, it's quite a lot for everyone. The crew, me, and Amelia. It was tiring. It's one of the hardest things we filmed." Honestly, it is pretty insane that they spent that much time on that scene, but I understand that was a climax, so they wanted to get it right, even if it was a kind of stupid climax that was super rushed. Lastly, Kit again expressed that he wanted to be the one to kill the Night King, confessing, "I secretly was like, I wanted to do that, especially because I love fighting. With the actor who played the White Walker, I fought at Hardhome. I've never seen a better swordsman, but it was a really great twist, and it tied up Maisie's journey in a really beautiful way. Over the seasons, we've seen her build up these skills to become this hardened assassin, and she uses it all to kill our main antagonists." Yeah, I still think it would have made sense for Jon to kill the Night King, because that's what they were building up, but I mean, it's alright that Arya killed the Night King, or whatever you have to say nowadays not to be called a raging sexist. Woman power, yay! Oh, I lied. Actually, by the way, I want to share one last thing Kit said about riding the dragon prop and how it was not a great experience for him. So he shared, "Amelia had been moaning about it for seasons, and I was like, yeah, whatever. You have not been through the mud in Northern Ireland. A buck in a nice warm room? Boo-hoo." But she was absolutely right. It was horrific. It's not acting at all. It is not acting. It will never be acting, and it is not what I signed up for. But it looked great, right? It just felt horrible. It was very uncomfortable as a man. I don't think I can have children now. Well, you and your wife can try, and try. Good luck, Kit, and I'm sorry about your balls. Okay, that's some Game of Thrones news. Like, subscribe, and come back for more sci-fi fantasy stuffs, just not Game of Thrones, obviously.
All around the mulberry bush, the monkey chased the weasel. The monkey thought 'twas all